If you weren't counting out the Rams in the NFC West, because my goodness, look at the standings as of right now. Seahawks alone at 4-3, but all the other threes basically 3-4 in anyone's game.
That looks like
you can kind of say at this point, just congestion. Oh, please don't give me the heebie-jeebies like that. So what's on the slate next for this Sunday for this division? Cardinals taking on the Dolphins, Seahawks playing Josh Allen and the Bills, and then Sunday night football, 49ers and Cowboys. So that marquee matchup, primetime game Sunday night, that's where we're going to start here. Peter, we saw the 49ers. They've really had their fair share of injuries. Cowboys maybe not living up to the expectations that we thought. But when you look at what the 49ers are up against, big picture, what does this game mean for their division?
Well, I look at these two logos, and it's NFL history. It's Dwight Clark and the catch. It's Terrell Owens at the midfield in Dallas and George Teague knocking him down. And it's all these recent different playoff games that they have played where weird endings have led to 49ers victories. And I look at the urgency that both of these logos have right now as we head in towards Week 8. I mean, both teams might need these victories more than any other teams in the league, speaking of just vibes and, of course, in their respective divisions. How about the Dallas Cowboys this week? Coming off of a bye, Mike McCarthy after all of the heat, and then Jerry saying he's good, we've got our guy. Then Jerry comes out and goes in some long, convoluted explanation about why Derrick Henry doesn't make sense in their offense, as if you couldn't fit Derrick Henry into this well-built machine that is just unstoppable over the years. And now they've got to go on the road. I think the best thing for the Cowboys is that this game is not in Dallas. They have been embarrassed in Dallas. They lost by a ton against the Saints. They lost by a ton against the Ravens till they came back. And then, of course, Detroit blew the doors off them. They get the bye, they get out of town, Dak's engaged, you go to San Francisco, and I look at the Niners. 2 straight losses to the Cowboys and to the Chiefs, 2 teams that you're supposed to be in the same conversation as, at home. That's unacceptable also. Dallas, San Francisco doesn't have the lights and the glamour that it usually does because of these teams limping into this one. But gosh, the stakes have never been higher for a regular season game between these two. Maybe it goes back to their famous 94 regular season matchup that they played when Aikman and Young were going at it, and everybody was watching that one. This one to me is important because of the loser. Who loses this game? And if they lose, do they walk home after the game? In wrestling, they used to have that loser goes home match. That's what this feels like right now. I know it's not the end of the season for either, but I can't imagine waking up Monday and talking about the Cowboys again as losers, or in the same breath, the Niners as losers 2 games in a row in their home building against Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, P, I'm so glad you brought up the fact that the Cowboys are coming off of this bye. We talked ad nauseum about Troy Aikman's comments regarding the route running by the Dallas Cowboy receivers. I saw a quote by CeeDee Lamb. You know where how CeeDee Lamb spent his bye week? He spent his bye week running routes with Dak Prescott. He spent his bye week trying to cultivate that chemistry that we've been so accustomed to seeing for the past couple years. And even though that chemistry will get there, I remember last year, the last time the Dallas Cowboys took a visit to San Francisco. It wasn't pretty for the Dallas Cowboys last year in 2023. I know that the San Francisco 49ers are dealing with a lot of injuries, and it's so weird, the contrast between the LA Rams, who we just saw, who's getting back all of their pieces, and the San Francisco 49ers, who seems to be losing piece after piece every week they go. So this is definitely a must-win for both teams. If you look at, I remember we're looking at the NFC West standings yesterday. The Rams are in last place. In 24 hours, the Rams are now in third. By the end of this week, the Rams could possibly be in second, fighting for first. So Sean McVay said Matt Stafford had a look in his eye. Matt Stafford also has first place in NFC West look in his eyes. He knows that it's attainable. Everybody's right there. And the scary part about the LA Rams is, out of all of those teams on that list, the LA Rams, as of last night, look like the team that Kyle, that Peter, that Akbar, that everybody on this program has been hyping up since the preseason, being the favorite in the NFC West. They looked scary last night. It was beautiful. It was art. Me as a fan, I loved watching it. So going into this game between the Niners and the Cowboys, it's a must-win for both. It's just going to be, who executes and what do we get to see on Sunday.
Well, I will say this. The 49ers, they have a little bit of that desperation because you were just talking about that, Manti, with the injuries. They have a bye week coming after this game against the Dallas Cowboys. So I think it's like thugging it out. It's just what it's going to have to come to. They're going to have to thug it out, get this win. They're at the bottom right now. It's really congested in the NFC West, but they give themselves an opportunity beating up against a Dallas Cowboys that right now, offensively, they struggle, especially with giveaways. They've been giving the ball away. And you look at that defense for the 49ers, this team, they force those takeaways. They go out there and they make those plays. It's a very opportunistic defense. They hustle hard, and that's why I'm excited when I watch this, because that NFC West, that congestion, there's going to have to be some sort of separation, and this is a great opportunity for the 49ers to do that.